Come back to the Football Terrace, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications. Now, that was an interesting semi-final. Not the most exhilarating of games. Spurs so much more solid so much more solid than we've seen them before. Liverpool looking lackluster again, 2 games running. Then there's the Bergvall dagger to give Spurs the 1-0 win, the advantage going into the second leg. But should he have been on the pitch? Were Liverpool robbed? I want your thoughts. I want your feelings. I want your opinions in the comment section below or in the live chat if that indeed is how you are watching this show. Advantage Tottenham. Advantage Tottenham. That's the beginning element of this. Advantage. What is this? What is this someone's wrote? I like the spamming. Yes, Sam will be here a little bit later for everybody that's asking. I was just checking what people were writing. Advantage Tottenham. They have the advantage. They have something to hold on to. They have something to fight for. And I have to hold my hands up right from the off and say, I got this wrong. I felt they'd lose today by a couple of goals. They'd lose at Anfield by 2 or 3 goals. And there'd be some sort of 4 or 5 goal margin on aggregate at the end. But listen, Spurs were really, really good tonight. And before we get onto the refereeing decision, and we will get onto that, let me just timestamp this. I want to just say that Spurs deserved it, I felt. If we just look at balance of play, yes, Liverpool had more shots. But barring Trent Alexander-Arnold's effort that was cleared off the line, I didn't feel they were really threatening Tottenham for large parts of the game. And Trent coming on made a really, really big difference. But Gakpo had a very quiet night. Jota was poor. Mohamed Salah, for someone that we know is such a great of the English game, very, very quiet night. Overhit passes. I don't even know if he had a proper shot. I think he had 1 shot in the first half that went wide. But Tottenham were excellent in their approach. They countered well. They pressed at the right times. But tonight, what they did brilliantly is they sat in at times. They absorbed the pressure. And there was moments in the second half that, for a case in point here, so obviously, by the way, I want to say get well soon to Bentancur, who suffered what looked like a really nasty head injury. Maybe he was unconscious. No one's really too sure what happened, but wishing him all the very best and get well soon to that young man. Johnson came on, and there was moments in the game where you see Kulusevski pick the ball up and start bursting towards goal. And I'm sitting there thinking, why isn't Johnson busting a gut to be in this attack as well? And then you realize they didn't want to overcommit Tottenham. And this is where Ange can frustrate me, because I felt he got the approach and the balance, the in-game management correct in that way tonight. And that part was excellent. The goal was excellent. A nice ball over the top. There's nothing wrong with a little long ball or two. This sort of strength shown by Solanke was amazing. Konate's a much bigger man than him, but he outmuscles him, uses his lower sense of gravity to turn, and then there's an opening. And Spurs gambled. And there he was, Bergvall in the middle, a nice cutback, and he finishes it brilliantly into the bottom corner. He really, really did. It was a wonderful finish. It was a really good goal to win the game. And I just felt they deserved it. They were narrowly offside. Solanke was narrowly offside maybe 10 minutes earlier or so in the game. And, Trent, for me, he pulled out, but he got lucky. He weren't in line with his defenders, and he jumps back, and he's probably offside by an inch or two. So they got a little lucky in that regard. But I just felt that Spurs were the better team. Early in the first half, Dragusin nearly scores. There was a mistake from Alisson that really should have been punished by Porro. Yeah, he was on both shots, wasn't he? Really should have done better than he did. But yeah, Liverpool tonight, drab. Really, really drab. Really poor by their standards. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But just like at the weekend, I'm not going to just say Liverpool were bad. I'm going to talk about the quality of Tottenham. And yes, they attacked well, but as I mentioned, they were really able to, really well drilled tonight and they were able to balance their game, Tottenham. It wasn't gun-ho attack, leaving themselves exposed at the back. Then you have the individual performances. I thought Dragusin was an absolute don tonight. Positioning. Every ball that came in, he was clearing with his head. The goal line clearance for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And I don't want to tempt fate here. I'm not a Spurs fan, so I can't really do that. It's the third time this tournament that a Spurs player has cleared it off the line. Maybe, just maybe, it's written in the stars for Big Ange and Tottenham this year with moments like that. Archie Gray at centre-back, I thought was excellent. Spence, I thought was amazing at left-back today, both in the offensive when attacking and also from a defensive point of view. Bergvall in the middle, and we'll get onto the yellow cards in a moment. I'm not going to ignore them. They're in the title for a reason. I thought he was majestic. I thought he looked so good on the ball. His distribution, by and large, was very, very good. He looked a threat. Really impressed with him. I thought Solanke led the line very well. I wasn't that impressed with Son tonight. I thought Kulusevski could have done a lot better when he had the ball in the attack. I thought there was a lot more that he could do. But by and large, a very good team performance from Tottenham. When I mentioned when it comes to Liverpool, it just looks a little bit drab. They looked a little bit undercooked. I'm not going to say they weren't up for it, because this is Liverpool Football Club. This is a tournament they've won many times. This is a very professional group of players. But maybe, just maybe, what we are witnessing right now is not the start of any downfall. I'm not going to push that narrative. It would be stupid. But maybe what we're seeing is a little blip period for Liverpool. It may be coming at the right time that this is the Carabao Cup. The next game is going to be the FA Cup, and it isn't maybe damaging the Premier League too much for them. But they just didn't look themselves tonight, Liverpool. And I want to take nothing away from Tottenham when I say that, but I think a lot of Liverpool fans will be disappointed with that performance. I'll shout out Trent. I thought Trent was very good when he came on in the offensive, in the attack. His passing was certainly helping to open up Tottenham that little bit more. But even the subs that came on up front, Darwin Núñez missing chances, nothing new there. I thought Luis Diaz was really poor when he came on. I mean, Gakpo and Jota and Salah, as I've already mentioned, were not particularly great, but the subs came on and didn't really add anything. And now I'm really excited about the second leg. The second leg has got Spurs with something to hold on to. Liverpool are going to have to come out all guns blazing. And if Spurs can put in a defensive performance at Anfield like they did tonight, where to a man they're very good, who knows what can happen in this game? And I'm not going to lie, I'd love to see a Newcastle Spurs final. I wanted the North London derby purely for the toxicity that would bring to the online community, the anxiety. I was talking to a couple of Spurs fans today about it, and they just said absolutely not. Don't want it. They said they'd rather not be in it than play Arsenal. They don't want it, and I understand why. But really good opportunity now for Spurs to get into that final, to win some silverware. I think over the next month, they're going to get players back. I think they should be, I'm not saying throw league games, but I think they should be tailoring the teams they pick to be as strong as possible for that game. So what I would do, a Carabao Cup for Spurs at this particular moment, this juncture is huge. It's actually gargantuan. Now, the goal scorer, Bergvall, should he have been on the pitch? That's the big question. And if you go in chronological order, okay, no. He was already booked, and he makes a late sliding tackle. You could see the referee in real time pointed at the ball. Typically speaking, that means the referee feels the player won the ball. So the mistake is on the referee and the linesman. You can't blame VAR because VAR cannot intervene for a yellow card. The referee has missed it. The referee has got it wrong. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. Old school refereeing, if you will, in the sense that VAR can't come in and intervene. But Bergvall and Tottenham, very, very lucky in that moment. So if we go in chronological order, yes, he should have been sent off because he was already booked. However, he shouldn't have been booked for the first one. I've seen it 4 or 5 times now, and it looks like a Diaz dive. So it depends on how you view these situations. You could argue robbery because he was booked and he should have gone. You could argue justice prevailed in that moment because he shouldn't have been booked in the first place. Therefore, he could have committed that foul. So I'd love to ascertain what you think as the viewers, as the audience. Were Liverpool robbed? Was it justice? You may think that both fouls were yellow cards. And I'm only going by the 2 or 3 replays I've seen of the first one. I can't see any contact personally, but maybe there's a different angle. Maybe there's a super slow-mo that you could show me that would change my mind. But from my point of view, I understand why Liverpool fans will feel aggrieved about that decision, especially as a few moments later, he goes on to score. That's always going to rub that salt into the wounds. What I will say to Liverpool fans complaining is you need to keep that same energy when your team benefits from these types of decisions as well. That's my general rule on this. I feel like you have to do that. And yet the other day, I didn't see many Liverpool fans complain when your striker assaulted the lick by smashing his shoulder into his face on purpose. Nobody was saying, where was VAR? They were just saying, get on with the game, man up, essentially. So you've got to keep the same energy. But I understand why you feel that. I just feel looking at it, VAR couldn't intervene to make the right decision because they can't. The first one wasn't a yellow card. So there is part of me that feels kind of like justice prevailed, but by the letter of the law, he was on a yellow and he should have got a second one. I want your thoughts. I want your feelings on that in the comments section below, my people. Yeah, Ram, I saw what you wrote, mate, as well. I tried to check the private chat a little bit more. Matt here says Liverpool robbed. Arsenal fans, by the way, if you guys are not on Liverpool's side here, you guys are finished. You're finished if you're not on Liverpool's side, because this is why I sometimes feel like you've got to be strategic when it comes to what side you pick, when it comes to these arguments. Don't do the tit for tat. Well, no one supported us, so I'm not going to support you. You can't do that. You can't do that. But definitely a mistake from the referee for not giving the second yellow. Let's go to some of your comments that have come through here. Spurs really couldn't beat us fair and square, but we didn't deserve the win anyway. VAR should absolutely be able to intervene and supersede referee decisions. Yeah, I mean, that'd be one thing I wouldn't be against. I'm just not against the right decision. As long as I can do it quickly, I'm really not against the right decision being made on football pitches. I think it's really important to have that in the game. Kinski is going to give Vicario a big challenge. I want to just say, I didn't mention him and I should have done. For a debut, after being at the club, 3 days, he was excellent. Couple of good saves. Brilliant commanding of the box from corners and crosses. Excellent with the ball at his feet. There was a little moment in the first half where the ball nearly got underneath him, Tahibi style. But yes, very, very, very good debut indeed from Kinski. Very, very good signing that could be. They are crying about the decision against them when literally they got every decision against us the last game. Credit to Big Ange, because even towards the end, he locked up shop and really wants this cup. Absolutely, you've got to shout out Big Ange for this. My only criticism of Ange would be, do this more in the Prem and you wouldn't be in the bottom half of the table. Learn to manage those games in the same way. Because they can do it. They've done it on occasion, Spurs, and they demonstrated that again today. Mo is a curse. F him. Call yourself a fan. I don't know what you mean. Mo who? As in Judge Mo. And what did he do? What I will say is this. Husam yesterday says, screw the football gods. The final's already set. It's Liverpool versus Newcastle. Now, it's only half time, so I wouldn't be getting carried away with bantering him either. But I do believe you can tempt fate in this world. I do believe you can do that. Respect for Tottenham's endeavour, but every result against us is tainted by officiating. I still can't take them seriously. See you at Anfield. #Dross. Salah is the Haaland of wingers. He provides nothing. He can't score or assist. Absolutely useless. But where I would challenge you on that is the chance that Darwin Núñez had that was well saved by Kinski. Wonderful ball by Mohamed Salah. So if that goal goes in, Mohamed Salah gets the assist. Does he not? By the way, thank you, Ruben Amorim. You set the blueprint of how to play against Liverpool. I'm just going to read that super chat and leave it there. I am not angering those footballing gods this week. I'm doing nothing to mess things up. When did Spurs learn to defend? When the manager tells them to bloody defend. Robbed or not, we are not good enough. Need to fix up. And you know what? This is the thing, Sam. The panel can do this because that's why they come on the terrace. Most of my viewers can do this. That's why you're the Football Terrace community. People with a brain can complain about two things at the same time. You can complain you weren't good enough. You can complain about the referee. What silly... I read a book recently about how consistently scapegoating throughout your whole life, blaming everybody else for your problems, always putting every single thing that goes wrong down to one person or one thing is the sign of an unintelligent person. And every other chapter was about this. And I'm reading it thinking, yeah, I'm going to make sure I don't do that in my life. And that's what it is for a lot of people. So well done to you. I think you can criticize your performance. You can criticize the referee. You can ask for rules to be changed. All these things can coexist at the same time in an active, fully functioning, working brain. So well done. I mean that. I'm not even trying to sound condescending. I actually mean it. It is 1-0 and we are going to Anfield. But Husam, the football gods are real, my brother. Tempting fate is real. It absolutely is. Legendary villain says, Husam! If he doesn't show up tonight, I'm docking his wages. That's what I'm going to do. I'm docking them wages. I am docking them. He doesn't deserve them if he doesn't turn up tonight. Absolutely not. He doesn't. If he doesn't turn up on the show tonight, I'm sure he'll be here, though. We were shit, plain and simple. Please stop crying. Gregory, I appreciate you saying that. And listen, I think by and large, you were. By and large, you were very, very poor tonight on the pitch. However, do you put this down? I'd love to ask you this question, Gregory. Is that Liverpool just playing poor, going through a bad patch? Could this be? And I'm not just putting this down to Amorim. It's not really how I work. But 2 games running, is a formula being found out to try and stop the slot style? I'd love to know. Or whether you think it's just yourselves being poor. It's fair enough if you do. I'd love to get your opinion. There's no football gods. Spurs getting done at Anfield. Maybe. Husam's fan from the UK. You're literally called Husam's fan. Wow. That's amazing. He must be well proud. I would be. To have somebody name their channel. I'm proud enough of my trolls that turn up to every show to tell me I'm wrong about everything. I always think, imagine loving me that much. That's why I always say, that's why I got a lot of respect for my trolls. People say ignore them. I can't. They are more loyal than my children, than my dog. They're more loyal than anything. Genuinely. They are here, come rain, come shine, come sleet, come snow. They're here. Just to tell me I'm wrong. I respect it. On everything, by the way. Honestly, everything. They tell me I'm wrong at spelling my own surname, but I love it. I know it was brief, but I like the refereeing announcement. Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, it just gives the decision. I'd still like them to explain it. Now, offsides are very easy. Maybe they will if it's a subjective decision. So we still want to see more. But yeah, I liked it at least. I mean, the audience know when it's offside. So the referee speaking and saying it's offside and the screen saying it is no different. We do need those subjective ones for him to explain. But yeah, I kind of liked it. A little bit NFL. I liked it. Just today, Husam said Arsenal weren't robbed against Brighton because Arsenal didn't play well. I hope he keeps the same energy now. I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll keep the same energy now. Absolutely. Right. Time to bring out the panel now to have their say. Make sure like buttons have been hit and make sure you are subscribing to the Football Terrace. We did have a few Tottenham fans backstage, but they seem to have disappeared somewhat. But Tom is here, G's here, and Ram is here with us. Tom, 2 games, no wins. Talk to me.
Well, shit happens. It is what it is. I don't think we necessarily played well. I don't think Tottenham... I think based off the run of the game, a draw was a fair result. No team really deserved to win that. We both missed a decent chance, and then the canyon at the end. I think the last couple of games, Man United, I think to an element the second half against West Ham, Manchester United, and Tottenham, we have been. It looks to me like Slot's trying to adjust little bits about our build-up. I think you could see it today with how the centre-backs were trying to get on the ball a little bit more and the way they were building up. And you can see it in the midfield. but I don't think it's necessarily working as well as he wants at the minute. And I think a big problem with that was the fact that the midfield was just like three. It weren't a midfield. It was Gravenberch, then McAllister, then Jones, and then when they bypass Jones's press, it kind of just leaves McAllister all on his own there, which can't. We're not gonna win that midfield battle. So I understand that Slot wants to get more possession and more control and more of his style of football, because it does feel like for the first half of the season it's been very much a Klopp style of attacking, where we're waiting to hit teams on transitions, hit teams on the break. We haven't really been the greatest at breaking down, stubborn defenses. So I think Slot's trying to implement that now. It's going to take a little bit of time, but now is the time to do it. If you're going to have wobbles, now's the time to have your wobble. Get it out the way, and then focus up on the second half of the season. And I'm hoping that's what he's doing. The decisions, look, I think the first one by Bergvall, there's no contact, but he knows what he's doing. Luis Diaz has just beaten Pedro Porro, and Bergvall knows that if Diaz gets past him, he's running into so much space, and Tottenham are completely out of position. So Bergvall goes into that tackle trying to stop Diaz. That to me is a yellow, because he's went in there to cynically foul him. Just because there's very little contact doesn't mean it's no longer not a cynical foul. I thought all cynical fouls, all tactical fouls were yellows.
So even if you don't make contact, it should be a yellow in your opinion?
Yeah, because he's stopped Diaz going forwards. That's my view, and that's for me is the way it's been for the past 2 years. How many times in games involving Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Tottenham have we seen a player go in for a slide tackle, the player rides it, or he clips the tiniest little bit of his leg, goes over and he gets booked because he stopped the promising attack. Then by virtue the second one, I mean, the fact that it wasn't a yellow on its own, the fact that the referees looked at that and went, oh, he's won the ball, that's beyond me in itself. But my biggest problem with that is the fact that we were punished for the player getting fouled, because we had to have Tsimikas off the pitch. This is what I don't get about I've not understood the 30-second rule, and I don't think I ever will. Why does the team that has a player get fouled have to then lose that player? Because the goal comes down that side. The goal comes down that side because our defence isn't structured in a position to deal with it, because they've got no left back and our left winger's trying to cover two spots. That to me, I've never understood the 30-second rule. I never will do. And that goal comes from that. And then those decisions aren't even my biggest gripe. Why was there not a penalty at the end on Curtis Jones? Why was there not even, an actual second replay so we could see it? We got this crap replay where you could see nothing. You could see nothing. But from the angle that we got, the crap angle that we got, it looks like Kulusevski kicks Jones's leg. I don't know what more there needs to be for a foul. But at the end of the day, look, I take a 1-0. I take a 1-0 loss. It could have been, if Solanke Times was run a bit better, all of a sudden it's looking a bit different. It's 2-0 and a spot that Arsenal are in. I take 1-0, going back to Anfield in a month's time. 90 minutes there. Hopefully that we've adapted our build up by then, because I think that's what we're trying to do across the next couple of weeks. Hopefully that starts to click a little bit more, and then we show them what we're really about in that game. But look, there's controversy there. For me, on the run of the game, it was a draw, but fair enough. Tottenham, they got that 1-0 lead. Let's see I'm intrigued to see how they try and play it out at Anfield. I really am, because I wonder if Andy's going to try and go with what sort of got him through that end of the second half.
Do you still see yourselves as favourites, even though you're 1-0 down?
Yeah.
No doubt.
Why wouldn't we not?
It's at home. It's at home, and we're still the better team. And we don't know what I don't know what Tottenham's injuries.
Doesn't mean we all go through. If we turn up on the day,
we are the
favourites.
Objectively, we are favourites.
But I think most people would say overall we are the better team, and we're at home, and that probably counts for more than one goal. But ultimately, on paper, doesn't make a difference. We've still got to show up at Anfield. As for Spurs, if Spurs go to Anfield and don't show up at all, we'll knock 5 past them. So we've both got to show up, and then we'll see. Then it could be a good game.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear that. I hear that. Kate, from your point of view, what did you make of Tottenham's performance tonight?
Oh, I do love it when I come in here and I hear Tom crying like a little girl. Oh, why wasn't there a penalty? Oh, you should get a yellow card even if you don't touch them. Come on, have a day off, for God's sake.
It's a tactical
When
foul.
we lost, give over, Tom. Oh my God, seriously, you having a laugh? When I watched us lose 6-3 to Liverpool, I come on here and I said, look, sometimes you have to put your hands up and say, we lost to the better team. Tonight, we were the better team from the minute that game started to the minute it finished. We should have beat you 2-3, 4-0. You can look like that. I can see you doing that. You was rubbish tonight. Salah wasn't even there.
You have 3 shots on target.
Salah, Porro should have scored and Solanke should have scored, as well as the goal that we scored.
That's like me saying Trench. That's like me saying Trench should have scored. You should have scored. Capital should have scored.
Yeah, but
all about the shots on target.
Hang on, guys. Let Kate finish her point, please. Thank you.
The difference is I'm not in here crying, saying that we're hard done by. At the end of the day, I don't know whether you thought you'd just turn up and beat us. You played against our kids. Our children beat you tonight. You know, we had, here's Husam, the one who said he's going to smash us. We had Archie Great again playing out of position, absolutely kept everyone quiet. We had Bergvall, who should never have been booked in the first place anyway. That was a ridiculous booking. That was only because your players cheat and roll around like they've been shot. At the end of the day, we played better than you did. We deserved to win, and we got the win. It's a game of two halves, literally. It's half time now. I would have liked more of a lead going to Anfield. It's not going to be easy, but at the end of the day, look, let's just wait and see what happens. By the time we play the second leg, we'll have a lot of our players back, which is going to be good. Van de Ven should be back by then. Romero should be back. But look, we needed that win. We deserved that win.
I don't know if you guys say that you should have won the game or you deserve to win. I think the quality of both teams was absolutely shocking today. I honestly, Terry, I didn't think we would go lower than Nottingham Forest, but today these guys proved me wrong. We were absolutely shocking. I don't want to hear anything about being tired or tactics. It doesn't take those two things to learn how to pass 5 yards to your fellow player. Like, we couldn't string a single pass together. People making wrong decisions. Like, it's absolutely crazy the amount of shocking play that we played today. It was poor from minute 1 to minute 90. It was absolutely diabolical from what I saw. And look,
I didn't think it was that bad. It was a bit slow. It was a bit on the slow side, but it wasn't that
even
bad.
If it was slow, we couldn't pass 5 yards, mate. We couldn't pass to.
But
everyone tried to do their own thing. Were they going to clear it out? We looked shook today. We just looked shook today. I don't know what happened. There were
periods in the first and second half where we had them camped in their own final third. So I don't know how.
Was it mainly because we were spamming crosses into the box and they were clearing it out and we ended up getting possession as a default, or is it more?
Our final third play wasn't great, but we were passing it about. We were trying to create openings, and I thought we did okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. I didn't think it was that bad a game. I thought it was all right.
Nah, I felt as though I was watching molasses turn. It was bad. It was bad. I got bored of this entire game. I was like, look, let's get in there 0-0, can take it to Anfield, but 1-0 isn't the end of the world. I'm not worried about the result. I feel as though at Anfield, in front of our own crowd, and given that it is Tottenham at the end of the day, I still believe that we can go through. I'm not too worried at all, and I'm looking forward to the game at Anfield. In my opinion, I think we should still be favourites to go through to the final. In my opinion,
but this ultimately, let's have some perspective. This is not the most important thing that we're going to be playing for this season.
Bigger fish,
regardless.
No,
I'm not saying that.
I want to win.
You said those words, not me. You said those words.
Right. I want number 11, man. I want to win. And you know what? If we end up winning this trophy, who knows what's going to happen in the Premier League if we go on and win that as well. So just win as many cups as possible, man. I'm not taking anything
number 11.
Carabao, our third, 11th EFL Carabao Milk Cup, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, there's another trophy in the cabinet, man.
Out of the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Husam, you've obviously getting a lot of stick in the comment section today, because obviously I know it's half time, but you obviously you discredited and sort of dismissed the idea that you would lose tonight, that you would win massively. What are you saying after tonight, brother?
First of all, Bergvall should have been on the pitch. He should have been sent off to begin with. So that's did I say a joke? Is this stand-up comedy? I can have my
It's hilarious.
Can I express my opinion without you guys like just laughing?
Sorry.
Factually, Bergvall should have been on the pitch. Should have been sent off. You get me? So yeah, Bergvall should have been sent off for me. So Liverpool were robbed from that perspective. If you would like, he shouldn't even be on the pitch. And when it comes to Spurs overall, well, you think I'm gonna change what I say? We're through. I'm not worried. We're going to Wembley. Like they come to Anfield with a 1-0 win. Oh, shiver me timbers. Oh, I'm shitting my pants. I'm so scared. How can I sleep at night knowing that Tottenham Hotspur, that are known for clinging on to 1-0 leads away from home at Anfield, I'm so shook, honestly. Like, we're through. Who cares? 1-0 loss away at Anfield? I don't care. Football gods are not real. There is no such thing as football gods. That's bullshit, because I predicted wins before the 14 games we won as well this season. So did the football gods suddenly take some time off or something? Like what exactly was happening?
No, but Mo Salah did.
I predicted us to win 14 times this season, and we won 14 times this season in those games that I predicted us to win in. So listen, there is nothing wrong with today's game other than the fact that the goal scorer shouldn't have been on the pitch to begin with. I agree with Rax. I don't think the game is as bad as people are making out. Like, we weren't like dog shit or anything. Like, we had very good moments. We kept the ball good for some moments as well. People say, obviously say, oh, where was Salah? Where was Salah? I don't get the same people that claim they aren't GA merchants only say someone had a good game when he brings GA. Salah created the most dangerous chance of the game for us. Nunes just missed it. Just like he missed the other two chances.
Oh, come on. Don't.
Diaz created. Mike, let me speak, please. I'm not gonna interrupt you. You can suck off Darwin when you speak. Let me.
Okay, sure.
When it comes to Darwin, we're just at a level now where I've completely given up on him. 3 chances, comes on, 64 million pile of shit, comes on, is worse than any forward we have, even though he plays half an hour. I would genuinely rather play my grandmother, and she's dead, on the pitch instead of Darwin Nunes. He's the worst player I've seen in my life. Milan Jovanovic is a better striker than Darwin Nunes. If Darwin Nunes ran through on goal when we were 1-0 up against Man United at Anfield in 08-09, David and go to seal it in front of the Kop, that game ends 1-0. If Darwin Nunes played instead of Divock Origi, we have 5 Champions Leagues instead of 6. This is the shit player I've seen in my life. And 2.5 years after I called it out, people are finally waking up. And for me, this is a halftime. Why should I be so angry or anything? This is halftime. Yes, there is a second leg at Anfield coming in a month. So I'm expected to not believe that my team could beat Spurs, the same Spurs that we put 6 past at Anfield.
Do you know what? I understand everything you've said, Husam. What you haven't done yet in the last 3.5 minutes is explain what went wrong with your team today, because Darwin Nunes wasn't on the pitch for the whole game. What did Slot get wrong today, and what was wrong with your starting lineup where you looked so lethargic?
I don't think anyone got anything wrong. I explained that. I agree with Rax. I don't think Liverpool played like shit today, or Liverpool were awful. Oh my God, like we didn't score 700 goals today. Liverpool had very good moments in the game. We should have taken our chances. We did not take our chances. We defended well for the most part. 90% of the time, we handled Solanke and their wingers and their players. Our midfield, Gravenberch was really good. McAllister was really good. Curtis Jones woke up in the second half. We just got done by a moment where we fell asleep. Konate shouldn't have been shrugged off by Solanke like that. So that's something that Konate need to hold some criticism for. You can't get shrugged off like that. And then we kind of fall asleep and concede a goal. But overall, it's not like Liverpool played like dog shit. We could have scored some goals.
You also got saved by a marginal offside. You can't completely say that. Can I say something?
But it's offside. It is offside. So
yeah, but okay. Yeah, but, so when I say Rax, of course I know that. But when I say it's a marginal offside, it's not necessarily because you did something right. It's probably just because the attacker was, what was it? He was half an inch off. Like that. We just have to be objective about it. It could have easily been 2. If he decided to stay on side, not if you didn't play him offside. because it was another
but you also,
mistake
but
from
no,
Trent.
but you also saw Trent. Trent angled his body to try and keep himself onside.
Yeah,
Now,
he
Yeah,
did.
but
that's
we
like,
also have to
so
remember
it's like
that
up and down,
VAR
right?
is,
Yeah, it's a bit of
is no
both.
stranger to controversy and offside decisions at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I still think it was onside. I do not believe
Oh,
that
I thought
Dominic
that too, I'm not
Solanke
gonna lie.
was offside. I genuinely believe that Trent fell asleep, kept him onside, and they drew the line wrong, and then they're going to get a
No, Mike.
PGMOL
Yeah,
apology
Mike,
tomorrow. Dude, I'm just telling you
you-
from my angle, you can see the different color in the blades of grass, and Trent is closer than Dominic Solanke. It's the same thing. I might be wrong, but first looking at the replay, to me, it looks like he's onside.
Mike, can I just say
Mike,
on that? Sorry, can I say on
Are you
that, Mike?
joking?
No,
I'm
can I
not
say,
joking.
Mike,
I thought he was
Mike,
on.
Mike, do you know what's really funny? When I saw they gave it offside, the first thing I shouted at my TV was, "Can we have a close up?" I want to see where they've drawn the line on Trent. Genuinely, if they've drawn it in his head, then sweet. I've got a feeling they've drawn it on his shoulder, which I looked at it, and I'm not saying it is right, but my view was, why have you not done? Normally do that close up, right, where you can see what part of the last defender's body they're drawing the line down onto the ground from. It looked onside to me, and for me, it's not because it's Liverpool or Tottenham. I'm skeptical. Like the handball decision at Anfield the other day, that maybe or maybe not should have gone United's way. I'm not saying it was or wasn't a penalty. I'm saying I want to see a close-up. I get very frustrated when the TV companies don't show us close-ups, and I think there's been enough evidence in the last 12 months alone to at least justify the skepticism of their accuracy, if that makes sense. So,
but Terry, has there been? There've been some outstandingly bad decisions. I agree, but the vast majority of decisions, 99.9% of decisions, when it comes to that, there's not really much controversy about them at all. So if you're talking about over the period of several seasons, probably there's not that much controversy. It's just there are a couple of outstanding major things that stick in our mind. It's like not recency bias. What's the word? You know that you use it all the time. I can't remember what it is, but
confirmation bias.
Confirmation bias. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, I
think
agree.
so,
Listen,
anyway.
and it could be onside. If I see the image and it's offside, then I'll go along with it. I'm just, when it comes to the VAR people, I am so untrusting in them. I'm not saying they did it on purpose. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy. I just sometimes feel, I wonder if you actually looked at more of them, if there was more controversy. Maybe some just go under the radar. We haven't seen the close-up, so nobody knows, right? But I hear you on that. Mike, what was your thoughts on Liverpool's performance today? That's what the viewers know. Mike's a Liverpool fan, by the way, saying that. He's not a rival. So, give us your thoughts on the game, Mike.
Listen, I disagree with Rex and with Husam. I don't want to hyper-focus on one player's chances. I think that the stark difference between this and the previous performance is the absence of Dominic Szoboszlai. I was one of his biggest critics at the beginning of the season, but the last 7 games that he appeared in, he was our best midfielder in terms of attacking. And his pressing work is absolutely exceptional. He also scored in that game and was a major creator in that game and gave Spurs' midfield headaches that entire game. Curtis Jones, subpar performance against Manchester United. Curtis Jones today, subpar performance. Ultimately, to me, Tottenham were the better side on the pitch. If you want to talk about, Bergvall, yes, I don't believe that the first one's a yellow, but you gave it as a yellow. So if you give it as a yellow, you have to give the second one as a yellow in order to establish consistency. But regardless, it would have been a harsh call. I think it would have been very harsh to send him off. But if you're going to call it, you got to own it. You can't just put it back in your pocket because he commits another foul, right? It's very similar to Diogo Jota getting sent off. Different circumstances, but one really soft yellow followed by one actual yellow. But regardless, we were not the better team. Mo Salah was poor. Yes, he did create that chance for Darwin Núñez, but outside of that, the fluidity in the game was not there. Cody Gakpo was our most threatening looking attacker throughout that game. Diogo Jota did his best Darwin Núñez impression for every minute that he was on the pitch. I thought that everyone looked heavy-legged. I know someone said that they don't want to talk about fatigue, but it is what it is. The players looked tired. They didn't look on it. The only time that we started to actually get some speed in this game was when we conceded the first goal. And then we started to move the ball with intention, with pace. But for the 70 minutes before that, yeah, we had possession, but we were so lethargic. Ultimately, we've only scored one open goal play in the last 180 minutes. That includes Manchester United because one of those was a penalty. And I'm not seeing the fluidity in the team. And yes, I think that Solanke could have been onside, but also Allison looked shaky at the back. I mean, Pedro Porro should be doing better there. If I'm a Spurs fan, that should go in the net. That should be a goal. But at the same time, I have to flip the coin and say, I mean, you're really lucky that Trent Alexander-Arnold just happened to kick it right into Dragusin. But honestly, it's crazy that he was even to get that on target. So again, 1-0 away to Spurs. I mean, it's their biggest win of the season so far. To me, they have bigger fish to fry. They got to play Arsenal, Everton, and Brentford, and Leicester before they meet us again for the second leg, which is at home. And, the positive spin would be that this could have been worse than 1-0. And we're taking a 1-0 deficit back home to Anfield. But we have much bigger problems to figure out with the squad outside of this one Tottenham game. But, ultimately, there's different ways to look at it. I just don't think that we were the better team.
I hear that.
Yeah, but can I just say one thing? I agree that we were not the better team, but I don't think we were really that bad. Like, we weren't horrendous.
I'm not saying that we were terrible.
And also, you said something that I completely agree with. Your favorite word. Let's contextualize this. We're taking a 1-0 loss to Anfield. Like, genuinely, why should I be worried?
Husam, I'm not worried about the second leg. I am not worried about losing. Also, I just want to remind everybody, the last time we were leading the league and we got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, we ended up winning the league. So ultimately, if I get knocked out and history repeats itself, I get the bigger trophy. So it isn't that big of a deal.
I would say this to you, Sam. I don't think it's about worrying about the second leg. You're someone that will come on there about when talking about other teams and speak about the importance of performances, and that's 2 back-to-back performances that are nowhere near the standard. Now, I don't think 2 poor performances on the bounce is something to be worried about. I assume you've got an easy FA Cup tie this weekend because everybody seems to have one barring Arsenal. I'm interested to see your next couple of games and whether there is some tiredness, there is some fatigue, whether there are some tactical adjustments that Slot's made that are causing problems. Because if this performance goes into a third game or a fourth game, I think that's a bigger concern than losing today. Rack, I have been sent in this picture.
Can I say one thing, sorry, before Rax, because you mentioned me. Top 6 show, you pulled up what James Redmond said. I agree with James Redmond. Forget the narratives. This isn't about narratives. I don't have that feeling that I genuinely believe this team going to win the league anyway.
That's fine.
I think this is the start of a collapse from the other game.
We're still winning the league.
So again, if you think this is the start of a collapse, then why are you defending the team so much?
Okay, this is what I think. Who's going to win the league this season? It's going to be whoever drops less points from Liverpool and Arsenal, because we're both bottle jobs. I can mock Arsenal for being a bottle job club. They are, but I'm a bottle job club as well.
I respect that.
Let me just explain it. Let me explain it, Terry. From this perspective of the Spurs versus Liverpool Carabao Cup final reaction, I still think we're through to the final. I don't think the collapse extends to the Carabao Cup. I think we're going to get to the final.
Okay. Only thing is that I don't want to debate this. I want to point this out. Where you confuse me is you spent 45 minutes earlier on today telling Arsenal fans they need to sack Arteta now, but yet you think they're winning the league. It doesn't make sense.
I don't think they're winning the league. I said whichever one drops less points.
So you are the favourites now then to win the league. So you're the favourites to win the league then.
And there's a shitter scenario even that City wins
the league. You can't have both of Sam. You can't be the favourites. You can't be the favourites to win the league and then tell Arsenal fans to sack. Sorry, you can't say that you're not the favourites to win the league. Arsenal are, but they should also sack Arteta.
I think City are favourites now.
Okay, he's changed it. Okay, that makes sense. Rack, the picture somebody sent me is brilliant. I liked it. It was great. So just for you, Rack. Big official.
Hold on. How are you going to say?
I didn't say that.
How are you going to say that City are the favorites? I don't understand that, Husam. We have a 6-point lead with a game in hand, potentially 9. Hold on. You're telling me that the difference between us winning the league and losing the league is the 2-point differential that we didn't even really drop because everyone else dropped points. You're talking about 9 versus 11 points. That's like saying I have $1 billion, but I want $2 billion, but I'm not a billionaire.
City are 12 points behind.
I don't think you need to buy a house.
You've got a game in hand.
Yeah, guys, I don't want to get too much into this debate because it's on game. I've got super chats and I want to speak a bit more about Tottenham as well. And go to some of these super chats. I don't want to disrespect them. Just today, Husam said that Newcastle weren't robbed against Brighton because Arsenal didn't play well. Hope he keeps the same energy now. No, he didn't. He complained about the red card. Even Tottenham played well. even Tottenham played well. Liverpool did not play well, but got the second leg game on. If Liverpool, you'll win it if you're on point. I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying. How could justice prevail when Tsimikas had to leave the pitch? We were down to 10 men. They scored. Yeah, listen, I think every football fan worth their salt has complained about this. I've always felt that the opponents should also have to take them out of the pitch at the same time. It's what they should do. The person who committed the foul, why they haven't rectified this stupid rule is beyond me. But it has been around for about 10 years now as well. I will say that. It's been there for such a long time. It's a crazy one.
It's to stop people. It's just to stop people giving an incentive to dive. Because if you dive, then you go off the pitch, and you have to go. You're getting penalised because you're off the pitch at the same time. So that was the reason they brought it in.
I've always felt they should just do what they do in rugby. Let the game continue with the medics on the pitch. Just let them do it. Like, just let them do it. It just makes sense. Let's be honest. The first yellow card was never a yellow, but the second is defo. So let's be honest and say hi to my brother Husam. Yeah, I think Kate, you would agree that the second one was a yellow card, but.
Well, look, I've just listened to what the officials said, and they said that if they played the advantage, which they did, they played the advantage for Liverpool, they do not give a yellow card unless it was a cynical challenge, which it wasn't. So I'm not one to argue with the officials. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. So what they've stated is that because he tried to win the ball and made the foul, if they play the advantage and it isn't dragging back, they don't come back and give yellow. Well, if that's the case, I mean, they've said that. Let's take their word for it. If that's the case, then it isn't a second yellow. However, it's about holding them to account on that if somebody else gets a yellow later on down the line. But if that's what they've said, they've at least they've made a statement, for God's sakes. They never normally do. Husam, don't disrespect the football gods. Stay humble.
They don't exist. We're headed to Wembley.
The biggest win of the game was to see Rodrigo Bentancur showing consciousness after the injury. I think some things are just. It was a weird one though, wasn't it? I rewound it to have a watch. I still can't quite work out what he did.
There's a lot of talk that he had a stroke, but nothing's come out yet. But if you watch the picture just before he goes in for the header, his face is drooping to one side, and then he kind of collapses when he goes for the header. But you know what?
Because it didn't look like he smashed his head that hard.
No,
it was just, and the way it was, I wish him absolutely all the best to that young man. Jones' sudden shitness needs to be studied.
He's just playing in the 10.
First half, yes. Second half, he's a lot better in my opinion.
Okay,
he's just not a
10. It was a good game, but Husam, your arrogance knows no bounds. Why not just say you know? Why not just say you know what
I was wrong today? But why am I wrong when my statement was we're going to Wembley? Like I'm going to the final. So how am I wrong?
Half wrong.
Whatever Husam said about the game, analyze after Terry. Ask again applies to Spurs like for like. Sorry, what does he say? Whatever Husam said about the game, analyst after Terry, ask again applies. I don't know what you mean. I'm a bit lost there, my friend. I'm so sorry. I don't get quite what you mean. In relation, I did want to ask you, Kate, about. I know he scored the goal on the red card, but Bergvall's overarching performance tonight. Were you impressed with him in the midfield?
I thought he was excellent tonight. I thought, listen, I watched him in pre-season, and we all know what he can do, but he's not had the chance. But I thought he was brilliant today. I thought he controlled everything in that midfield. I also thought Archie Gray was excellent in defence, and our new keeper was phenomenal. Got to give him a massive shout out. He's only been at the club since Sunday. He's only trained for 2 days with the rest of the players. Sam, why are you laughing?
Because him hugging his wife and crying together is just genuinely the most.
I think that was his mum.
This describes Spurs. I don't care. Mom, wife, tomato. This describes everything wrong.
Hang on, what the hell do you get up to at the weekend?
Celebrating. I beat Liverpool 1-0. This is my biggest moment of my life. Same way last season.
He's 21, Sam.
They brought all their kids up when they beat us in the Premier League. They ended up not even making Champions League football, bro. This is why
he's 21 years old. Have some humility. He's 21. He's come to this country, and this is
They
massive.
beat
for
Liverpool
him.
1-0. Oh my God, what an achievement!
Wow.
Fuck my life.
Wow. Some people's arrogance is off the
Fuck my
charts.
life.
Because here he's
honestly.
49.
Blackpool have beat
Wow.
us at Anfield before. It's crazy.
So yeah, I was really impressed with the youngsters, and like I say, Ange got it right. But yeah, the saltiness from Husam is phenomenal, unbelievable, really. From a grown man as well. Disappointing, Husam. No wonder you're not married.
Listen, I'm just talking about the game football front. No wonder what? What did she say?
No wonder you're not married.
I wonder why you're not married.
That's so weak, honestly.
No, that's not weak. That's not weak. Kate, what's your cat's name?
Ralph.
That's a great name, Ralph. Fraud Husam, what Salah's doing today, he might need a blanket because he's so sleepy. Man, no effort, no creativity, so casual, but you blame Nunes for nothing.
Yes, Salah created the most dangerous chance of the game. End of discussion. All you people who hate GA, forget GA. He created the most dangerous chance of the game. Cry more.
That was not even Darwin Nunes
Yeah,
scored to the right of the goal.
Half chance. 55 half chances in 2.5 years.
No.
Enough,
See, now you're stretching it. That's not a clear-cut goal-scoring opportunity. It's
100%.
just not.
That's not clear.
No, it's not.
100%.
No, it's not.
100%. Isak doesn't score that. Haaland doesn't score that. No good striker in the world would score that.
Not 10 times out of 10. No way.
Okay.
No way.
Well, Darwin scores at 0 out of 10. So where do you go from here?
I'm just saying.
Orchie here says 1-0 is a slim advantage, but by reverse game, most of our injuries should be back. Okay, by the second leg, should be back. Maybe some new players, and Liverpool could suffer some injuries to key players themselves. That's football. You never know. Why do people hate each other so much? Cheers from Bosnia. Peace and God. No one hates everyone on the panel. We're just having a bit of banter. We have a little banter.
No one
here.
Football rivalry.
Keep to yourself. Salah playing like old Bruno, hoofing the ball every time and misplacing passes. Henry would never. Mr. GA, overall game was awful on my eyes. Husam.
This revisionism is the biggest load of shit I've heard in my whole life. Henry's had bad games. Hazard's had bad games. Messi's had bad games. Ronaldo's had bad games. Every player in football history has had bad games. I've seen Ronaldo miss a tap-in at home in the Premier League. Terry will tell you from 1 yard out. It's people have bad games. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But Salah wasn't even bad overall today. Also, Thierry Henry has 0 goals in 9 finals. Also, Thierry Henry passed the ball to Victor Valdez in a Champions League final. Also, Thierry Henry left your bitch club to go to Barcelona, who beat you in the Champions League final, to go win the Champions League over there. Also, Thierry Henry watched 15-year-old Mike Lowen score goals at Wembley to beat his strong-ass Arsenal side at Wembley and do nothing. He watched Owen dominate his club. So let's not speak about Thierry Henry, whose only relevant goal was against Southampton in a semi-final. Please.
I've just seen the next super chat.
Sam should remove Don from his channel name. He sounds more like Chelsea fan Don these days.
Hey, respect Don, man.
I love Don. Liverpool fan. This is from a Liverpool fan, Undertow 999, who says it's the yellow card not being given as a red. It is justice for Douglas Luiz for swimming. Obviously, diving, he means, on the first yellow, not just diving. The man was grasping in the lake. I hope Spurs can finish the job. Newcastle really need this cup. Do you feel like you're being disrespected a little bit as Tottenham as an institution here, Kate?
Not really. It doesn't bother me what anyone says. Whatever's meant to be will be. If we lose to Liverpool, it's meant to be. It'd be just typical Spursy to beat Liverpool, to have beat Man City, and to have beat Man United to get there, and then lose to Newcastle in the final. That would be the ultimate Spursy thing to do. So I don't think it's disrespectful. At the end of the day, we haven't won anything for donkey's years. So, but I hate people when they just come on and go, well, that's it. We're in the final, because that's just disrespecting football in general, because anything can happen in football.
Credit to Spurs, by the way, because they pretty much played their B team because they had no choice. They had 6-7 first team players that would usually start for them out, and they managed to beat, league leaders.
I don't know how it's possible. I was told a few weeks ago, when you lose your best player, you only win 1 in 13. I was told that the other day. I was told that's normal.
that by
Husam, yeah, Husam raging is hilarious. His head is gone. Watch him jump on spaces soon. Speaking of spaces, Husam, I found the ball which Salah hoofed out of the stadium with his hair transplant.
Damn, no one laughed. That was such a shit joke.
That's a bit of a shit.
We've got a couple of minutes left on the show. Staffy, obviously, I know you joined us here. What are you saying? Thank you for the super chats, legendary villain. I appreciate that. What are you here to say, Staffy?
No, listen, I thought it was a good game of football. I just wanted to talk about a little bit of the game. The Liverpool guys covered it well. I'll be honest. I'm surprised to see only Kate here when they win. When they lose, everyone is here. Always ainge out, and they win today, and they have 1 foot into the final, and no one is here. Where's Henry? Henri, where are you? I mean,
he's at home crying because he can't scream and out and have a tantrum.
I was about to say, Henri talks football would have been here if they lost. I'm obviously joking. Now, I'm only here for one reason. I invested stocks about a year ago in Solanke, and I just wanted to come here and collect the the money that I made off these stocks, because this guy's right now is on I believe he's on 17 GA. I was one of the few that sat here in the summer and I said, yeah, I understand it might be a little bit overpriced. The 60. How much did you pay for him again? Kate, 60, 65
million.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. But from me saying I would have took him when he was in Bournemouth, to me defending that signing when he went to Spurs, to him absolutely bullying Konate today. And by the way, it is not easy to bully Konate. So I'm not even gonna sit here and say what he did was anything. He scored a goal, was offside, and then the way he sets up that goal to Bergvall. This is why this guy, every time he doesn't score, I don't hear a lot of people complaining about him. Because when he doesn't score, he's still effective. And when I said this guy is arguably in the center forwards that are available in the Premier League right now, when I said he's probably in the top 3, and that was my opinion last year, I wasn't joking. I felt like not enough people watched what this guy did. Last season, he had 25 GA playing for Bournemouth. He's already on 17. And I think, Terry, it was in the summer we did one of the straight facts, and I said, I think he'll easily hit over 30. And he's already over halfway there.
Yeah, no,
So,
you were spot on with that opinion about him. You really, really were, mate. There's no doubt he's been brilliant.
Tony, listen, no disrespect to Tony, but Tony wouldn't be doing for the Spurs team what Solanke is doing. And I'm not here, listen, I don't care if Spurs fans want Ainge out or not. It's up to them. That's their club. I'm not going to tell them how to feel. But the fact that the only, and I want to be respectful when I say this, the only serious signing they did in the summer, and Kate, when I say serious, I mean like someone who is in their prime years. He's 27, not a bunch of teenagers, not about a bunch of talent that should be good in the future like you did. The fact that he's the only signing that you got around that age and it looks good, it just makes me think, and I'm not dismissing anything Ainge did this season that was bad. It just makes me think, what if he got more of his signings? What if he got, no, not more of his signings, more of serious signings, more of people around that age, people that are performing to the level that Solanke did last season? Because I just look at this team, I'll be honest, today the amount of spaces that Liverpool left and what's his name, Kulusevski was running in, I'm just imagining if he has like a serious right winger running in there, someone that's much younger than Son. You had so many injuries, and I'm not gonna lie, you made him look like Liverpool under Klopp last season, where they were just playing one way only, and they're just always getting hit on the counter.
I hear you completely, mate. Sorry, because I'm running out a little bit of time because I've got something to do after this. But a few super chats here. So Salah basically had the same performance as what Trossard had yesterday, created the most dangerous chance and did F all. Anything can happen in football, but one thing is for sure: Spurs can't win anything. And Sir here says Slot's throwaway comment is telling. He says the window is still open and Spurs could strengthen with more signings. Let me know Liverpool will make like he knows Liverpool will make no signings. But that's very heavily briefed.
Just to say that, I know you're gonna wrap up now. I'll leave it at this. If Spurs make the final, which is very tough still because they gotta go to Anfield. If they make the final and Arsenal don't, uncomfortable.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button before you leave. Make sure you are subscribing and you have the bell notification turned on. This is going to redirect you to Husam's channel. So go over and spam pussy in a tree over there, please, people. Go and spam pussy in a tree right now. Until next time, I want to thank my super chatters, everyone who's hit the like button, everybody that has subscribed to the channel. A big thank you to each and every single one of you. It means a great deal. It really does. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.